would be going to learning about the banking, and this is our 100th class. So this is about the economics. We are doing the 6th lesson of the TNSCRT, that is the 12th class economics Tamil Nadu SCRT book. So in this class we would be going to learn about the few topics which are related to the banking. Now let's have a recap. Now what we have studied and what we are going to study. Now what we have studied are the topic. So in this we have studied the introduction, the historical background we have covered the commercial banks. Now today what we are going to do is the NBFC. So sorry, NBFC we have done, sorry, central bank we have done. Now today the topic which I would be dealing with are Agriculture Refinance Development Corporation, Regional Rural Banks, NABARD and its role. So 1, 2 and these 3 topics I would be going to deal. And what are the topics which would be left? The topics which would be left are Reserve Bank of India and industrial finance, monetary policy, recent advancement in the banking sector, money market and capital market. Now at least I would be going slow and I would be taking 2 more class for the banking, because this is the important pillar for your exam point of view. Now topics to be read today. Now these are Agricultural Refinance Development Corporation, ARDC, under which we would be learning about the objectives of the ARDC. The next very important, that is the RRBs, concessions to the RRB and the role of the NABARD in the agricultural credit function of the NABARD. Now today we are going to study about the agricultural economics. Let's start first with the Agricultural Refinance Development Corporation. Now farmers in the India, they require mainly medium term and the long term loans. So what the author is saying, he is saying that the farmers in the India, now they require medium term and then long term loans, and they face a lot of difficulties in getting these loans, because these loans are diverted towards the industrialist, and these do not reach to the farmers. ना फार्मर्स को कोई नहीं देगा, बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली मुनाफा किसको हो रहा है? इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट को हो रहा है, जो कि बैंक को कमा के देगा. Now in the previous classes we have studied bank is a profit earning company or a profit earning entity. Now he will not give the loan to the farmers. The only organization providing long term credit is the land development banks, now which has lagged behind and recorded only limited success. Now these are also not successful. They are providing long term loan to the farmers, but these are not successful. The credit requirement of agricultural sector are increasing year after year. Now you have seen that there is a Kisan credit card. Now you have studied about the recent new schemes related to the Kisan that the government is providing, and there is a word that is called as the priority sector lending. It means that the bank have to give the loan, some percentage of the loan have to given to the farmers or the primary activities. Now with the aim of bridging the gap in the agricultural finance and to extend the credit and the projects involving agricultural development, an organization that was formed way back in the July 1st 1963. So इस नज़रिए से एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को बहुत पहले गठन कर दिया गया था 1963 में, एंड दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन वाज द एग्रीकल्चरल रिफाइनेंस Development Corporation. It was established by an act of the Parliament and it started functioning from the July 1st 1963. Now this was all about the ARDC, what was the objective, why it was established, and when it was established. So what, why, and when. So answer of these I have told you. Now next comes is the objective, or we can say aim of ARDC. ARDC का aim क्या है? Now first aim of the ARDC is to provide necessary fund by the way of the refinance to eligible institution. Now what are these eligible institution? यहाँ पर एक word use किया गया है eligible institution. तो हैं कौन ये eligible institution? Now these eligible institution, now remember that this ARDC is not directly providing loan to the farmers. Now it is providing loans to the Central Land Development Bank, state cooperative banks, then schedule banks. So it is providing to them and they are providing to the farmers. Now to subscribe to the debentures floated by the Central Land Development Bank, State Cooperative Bank and the schedule banks, provided that they were approved by the RBI. Remember that approval RBI के अंदर approved हो, so that is a requirement. Now this was about the ARDC. Next we will be moving and we would be studying about the regional rural bank. Now today's class would be short but important. छोटी class होगी but important class है. One of the important point of the 20-point economic program. I hope you have heard about this 20-point program. This we study when we do the planning commission. जब हम प्लानिंग कमीशन के बारे में पढ़ते हैं और प्लान्स के बारे में पढ़ते हैं, वी डू लर्न अबाउट द 20 पॉइंट्स इकोनॉमिक प्रोग्राम. Now it is more specifically is given in a chapter, that is the I think 4th chapter of the 12th class political science NCRT of Mrs. Indira Gandhi during the emergency was a liquidation of the rural indebtedness by. Now this is a word, so try to understand what he is trying to say. So he is saying liquidation. Now this word is very important, liquidation. And second, he is saying the rural indebtedness. Now one word substitution, and these 1, 2, 3 words, these substitute a big sentence in itself. Now what do you mean by liquidation? It means that the money is easily available. I told you the liquid और the most liquid asset, सबसे liquid क्या होता है? आपका पैसा होता है, that is the currency होती है liquid में. So that is the liquid. Then other comes as the rural indebtedness. Rural indebtedness and the ness. So it is talking about the जो कर्जा जो ग्रामीण लोगों पर है, हिंदी में हम बोलेंगे ग्रामीण लोगों पर और ग्रामीण व्यक्तियों पर जो कर्जा है, और द लोन ऑन द रूरल पीपल, सो or the people who are living on the villages, the loan that they have taken. So liquidation of the rural indebtedness by stages, and it provides the institutional credit to the farmers and artisans in the rural areas. Now you have seen at this time also the government have done the liquidation of the rural indebtedness. COVID mein the most affected people are that who are the farmers either or the artisans. Now artisan covers a varied range of the people. So remember that, so under the COVID-19, so the government has provided this, the liquidation of the rural indebtedness. It was in pursuance of this aspect of the new economic program that the government of India set up the RRB. So this is the history of the RRB. So 20-point economic program liquidation. Now 20, how you would be making the notes? You would be making notes like you would be writing about the 20-point economic program, and against that you would be writing with an arrow that liquidation of the rural indebtedness. So why it was came, so it was came to eradicate the to bring the liquidation of the rural indebtedness by stages. And what it will do, it will provide institutional credit, किनको, फार्मर्स और आर्टिशियंस को पैसा प्रोवाइड करने का, लोन प्रोवाइड करने का काम करेगा. It was in pursuance of this aspect then the new economic program RRB were set up. The share capital of RRB is subscribed by the central government. So share of the central government is 50%, state government is 15%, and sponsoring commercial bank. For example, if SBI is sponsoring, so it would have the 35%. So this is all about the history. Now next comes is the concessions to the RRB. What are the concessions that have been provided to the RRBs? Now from the beginning, the sponsor bank, for example SBI. Now sponsor bank is if the SBI is the sponsor bank and it is having the 35% shares. Now have continued to provide managerial and the financial assistance. Now at what level it is helping? Managerial level and the financial assistant to the RRB. And also other concessions such as the lower rate of the interest, 8.5% on later borrowings from the sponsor bank. Now further, the cost of the staff deputed to the RRB and the training expense of the RRB staff are borne by the sponsor bank. Now the RBI have been granting many concessions apart from the sponsor bank. So what are the concessions that have been provided by the central bank? Now these are, number one, they are allowed to maintain cash reserve ratio. Now in the previous classes we have learnt about the cash reserve ratio. Previous classes में हमने इसको डिटेल में पढ़ा है. I hope you remember what is CRR, जो पैसा सेंट्रल बैंक के पास रखवाया जाता है. Now at the 3% and the SLR, so SLR means the commercial bank के पास जो पैसा अपने पास होता है. It means that the RRBs को कितना रखना है? 25%. Now they also provide refinance facility through the NABARD. So a refinance facility is also provided and it is provided through the NABARD. Now this was about the RRB. Now here a word came, that is the NABARD. Now we would be learning about the NABARD. What is this NABARD? And in the last class on the Friday also I have told you something about the NABARD. We have discussed about the NABARD. Now NABARD, what is its origin, its role, and the agricultural credit, we would be going to learn about that. Now since its inception, RBI has shown keen interest. So that was, I told you also earlier, RBI, it was managing the agricultural credit and maintained a separate department for this purpose. Now RBI extended short-term loans. Now in the first slide today we have learned that the farmers do require medium, they require long-term, remember that. Now seasonal credit as well as the medium term, long term credit to the agricultural through the state level cooperative banks and the land development bank. Earlier RBI used to do these functions. Now NABARD, it has the state cooperative banks under it, central cooperative bank under it, and primary cooperative bank under it. So this is a three-tier cooperative credit structure of the NABARD. Now at the same time RBI has also set up the Agricultural Refinance Development Corporation, ARDC, that we have learnt a short while before. Now to provide the refinance support to the banks to promote the program of the agricultural development, particularly those who require the credit, means loan paisa. Now with the widening of the role of the bank credit from the agricultural development to the rural development, now role has been widened. Earlier it was the only agricultural development, now it is about the rural development. Now I hope you understand the difference between agricultural. It is about one industry also, one area only. But the rural, it will be a combination of the various areas in which that particular rural area is engaged. The government proposed to have more broad-based organization at the apex level. Now we require a specialized organization to handle such things and give guidance to the credit institution in the matters relating to the formulation and the implementation of the rural development program. And this made the origin of the NABARD, and the NABARD came into the existence. Now, what is the full form of NABARD? National Bank for the Agriculture and the Rural Development. It was set up in the 1982. It was set up by an act of the Parliament. It means it is a statutory body. Remember that. So we will study in the detail, and while we will be studying about the polity, what is a statutory body, what is a constitutional body. To take over the function of the ARDC and refinancing of the RBI in relation to the cooperative bank and the RRBs. NABARD is linked organically with the RBI by the latter contributing half of its share capital, the other half being contributed by the Government of India. Remember that. Government of India, it nominates the 3 of its central board directors on the board of the NABARD. A deputy governor of the RBI is appointed as the chairman of the NABARD. Now those were the tidbits about the NABARD. You do not require it. You required the functions of the NABARD. And we will study the functions of the NABARD one by one in detail. NABARD has inherited its apex role from the RBI, and that is, it is performing all the functions performed by the RBI with the agricultural credit. सिर्फ फर्क इतना है, एग्रीकल्चर या फिर रूरल डेवलपमेंट में हम बात कर सकते हैं. सो उनके जो भी एरियाज है, सिमिलरली सेम टू द RBI, they are performed by the NABARD. Now the first function of the NABARD is that NABARD acts as a refinancing institution. Now for all kind of production and the investment credit to the agricultural, small scale industries, cottage and the village industries, handicraft, rural craft, real artisans and other allied economic activities. Now what is the objective? Objective is to promote the integrated rural development, and with that it does so. It provide short term, medium term and long term. Remember then 1, 2 and 3. Credit means loan to the state cooperative, RRB, LDB, then and other financial approved by the RBI. So remember this word, it is very important. Approved by the RBI. Third, NABARD gives long-term loans, so up to the 20 years, to the state government to enable them to subscribe to share capital of the cooperative credit societies. NABARD give long-term loan to any institution approved by the central government, or contribute to the share capital or invest in the securities of the institutions that are concerned with the agriculture and rural development. Particularly, it is concerned about the agriculture and the rural development. Next feature is that NABARD has responsibility of coordinating activities of both central and the state governments. The Planning Commission, now it is called as Niti Aayog, and all other India and the state level institutions entrusted with development Now, development of the small scale industries, village cottage industries, rural craft industries in the tiny and the decentralized sectors. So I told you earlier it was only concerned with the agriculture. Now the word rural has been used, and it is a big word, or it has a wider aspect. Earlier it was a narrow approach. Now we can say that now we have the wide approach. It has responsibility to inspect the RRBs and cooperative banks and other than the primary cooperative societies. It maintains a research and development fund to promote the research in the agriculture and the rural development. So these are the seven functions which we have studied about the NABARD. Now, though it was a small, but the important topics we have completed. Now, as I'm not fine, so that's why I kept this class short. Now, remember that now tomorrow we would be going to study about the Reserve Bank of India, monetary policy, recent advancement in the banking sector, money market and the capital market. Now, today Hindu newspaper has not been published, so it does not came. So that's why I have not posted the Hindu newspaper today. So this was all in this class. If you have any doubt, you can ask me now, or we will be ending the class. Tomorrow, the rest of the topic would be completed. Thank you, all of you.